The Canadian Taxpayers Federation was here in Calgary on their 6-week 9-province tour with the debt clock to raise public awareness on Canada's growing debt. The clock displays the total federal debt by the second and by person. And I had a chance to catch up with the federal director of the CTF, Aaron Woodrick, and he broke down the numbers for me here.
Our national debt now is $625 billion. That is an all-time high. Before the Harper era, we were down about $150 billion lower, but looks like we're going to go up to somewhere north of $730 billion at the rate we're going right now.
If you can believe it, we're also paying $3.3 million in interest per day on already accumulated debt. The Liberals have no plan in place to cut spending, and they also plan to run an unknown number of deficit budgets. The way to curb the spending, as Alberta Director Paige McPherson says, is to balance the budget. Here's her take on using that strategy to pay down our debt.
Ultimately, when it comes to the debt, we don't have a commitment to balance budgets at the federal level or the provincial level. Our clock is rolling, the numbers are rolling in, and the clock would stop if they would simply balance the budget and stop going into deficit. So the step one thing that we need to do is to balance the budget, and then it would stop, and our governments just haven't shown a commitment to that.
And although the federal government has no plans to balance the budget, Ms. McPherson had some suggestions for spending cuts and ways for the Liberals to save us taxpayers money.
The federal government has not done a spending review in over 10 years, a really thorough spending review to just get in there and look at every department with a fine-tooth comb and see where they can cut back. So we need to start with that. At the federal level, things like corporate welfare to companies like Bombardier, we cannot be spending money on things like that. I do think that, we maybe need to look pretty hard at salaries, at public sector salaries.
Our national debt is skyrocketing. We're at the highest levels of debt, with no plans of stopping. Liberal spending is so out of control that we'll see the federal debt increase by $718 billion by 2020. That's actually $20,000 per every Canadian citizen, which is absolutely outrageous. Couple that with provincial debts, and depending on where you live, that could be a combined federal and provincial debt load per person of over $41,000. The lowest level of provincial debt is in, you guessed it, Saskatchewan, at just under $5,000 per person. And the highest amounts are in Ontario and Quebec at over $21,000 each. And as Aaron and Paige suggest, the only way to fix things and become debt-free is to stop that clock. For the Rebel.media, I'm Holly Nicholas.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.